Hey my loves, now today's video is going to be super different. Today's video I'm going to show you guys how I got this really pretty and easy wig. So these are the supplies you will need. You will need a spandex dome cap, where you can find it Sally's, Amazon, anywhere. Just get a spandex dome cap. You'll need some T-pins for security. You'll need some hair clips, some scissors, regular scissors. You'll also need some hair shears, some needles and thread, some styling spray depending on how you're going to style your wig, some styling utensils, and of course a comb. So I'm starting off showing you guys the closure. This is a 4x4 closure. This is the Vietnamese natural wave hair. This is a 14-inch closure as well, and it's pretty good. Now the knots are not bleached. I'm showing you guys the lace. The knots on this closure is not bleached, so you would either have to pluck or bleach the knots. I just pluck mine. That's just what I like to do. Now this is the bundled hair. These bundles are pretty thick. This hair is pretty thick as well. That is again the Vietnamese natural wave hair extensions, and this hair was provided by Golden Crown Collection. So this hair was sent to me, and that's what the webs look like, the bundles and everything. So it's pretty good quality hair, and I will have all of the ordering information down in the description box. So if you are interested in this hair, please check below. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm applying my spandex dome cap on my wig block head, and yes, it has tape on it because the wig block head does have cloth. And when I used to make my wigs, the needles would get caught on the cloth, so I just added tape to kind of keep the needles from catching that. So I'm gonna secure this cap with my T-pins. And y'all don't mind me, I look kind of busted in this video, but hey, I had to do what I had to do. So we're gonna start with the closure, and we're going to lay this closure down. And as you can see, I'm measuring that closure against that cap where I want it to lay. You want to make sure you get that hairline right at the top of that cap, like literally at the hairline of the cap. And this just makes, you know, ensures that your closure is nice and flat. And I'm going to secure that closure down with T-pins as well. And you want to do this because you want to make sure it is flat. You do not want a bumpy or a loose closure. And I'm just going to pin this hair with that hair clip at the top, just to keep it out of my way. And I am now stitching down my closure, and as you can see, I am sewing the outside perimeter of the closure. And I also sew underhanded. Some people sew overhanded, but I sew underhanded. It's all about preference. And just keep sewing until you get into the middle of the closure. And sometimes your thread will try to knot up on you, but that's okay. Just take your time. This video is sped up. In real time, this actually took me like over 2 hours to do, like from start to finish, and recording made it longer. So like normally it takes me about 2 to 3 hours to finish, like to make a whole wig. But if I find something good on Netflix or a good movie to watch, then I can just watch the movie and create my wig. But with recording, it did add extra time. So I'm just still stitching down that closure, and I'm making sure it's nice and flat. And I'm also watching TV. So since we've been in quarantine, I have really been watching Amazon Prime. I'm currently watching Double Cross. If y'all have not seen Double Cross, check it out. It's pretty good. Also, another good show on Amazon Prime is Monogamy. that is really good. So it has 2 seasons out. I'm ready for the third season. So y'all, if y'all need some shows, check out those 2 shows. Go through Amazon Prime, and I think it's UMC. Sorry, that's my phone. I think it's UMC who has the shows. Yes, it is UMC. And just watch them, y'all. Like, it's really good. I binge watch shows all the time. So if you're looking for some shows, check those out. Alright, so I'm showing you all that I've made it to the middle of this closure, and I'm still following that underhand method, and I'm tying off that closure, so that I'm gonna stop right there. Some people sew all the way around. I don't. I like to sew 1/2 down first, readjust my closure where I'm gonna tie a knot, and you'll see me readjust it, make sure it's nice and flat. So tie some knots in it, make sure it's secure. We don't need our closure lifting, girl. So you see me combing up the hair, and I'm basically just getting my closure readjusted. And you don't want to tie this up too tight, because sometimes you'll like bunch the closure up, and you don't want it bunched up. You want it to be as flat as possible. You don't want any lumps or bumps. So I'm basically taking a T-pin, readjusting my closure, and I'm gonna start in the front again, underhanded, and I'm sewing the perimeter of that closure down to the cap. And basically, y'all, wig making is a repetitive process. You just keep repeating the same steps until you're done. There's nothing hard about it. It is tedious, but there's nothing really hard about it. I know a lot of people don't hand sew wigs anymore. A lot of people have started using the sewing machine. Look, y'all, I'm not trying to buy a sewing machine. This works perfectly fine for me, so you do what you do. Some people glue their wigs down. I never glue mine down because I'm afraid that if it gets wet, it'll start slipping. I just prefer to sew it down. I know it's secure, and if I need to go back in and add some, more security to it, I can just get me a needle and thread and sew whatever I need to sew down. So it's all about preference. And I'm tying that off. And I tie off my knots every so often. It's just a habit of mine. I just like to make sure things are secure. And I'm tying this off. I've made it to the middle, and I'm gonna get ready. And oh, I thought I was gonna close it off. I thought I was finished. Never mind. I should be there. Just a second. Come on, girl. All right, so that's the last piece that I'm sewing down. I thought. All right, now I'm tying it down while I'm knotting it. And I'm gonna cut that And basically follow the same process. Knot that up. And then we're going to start with the actual bundled hair. All right, so I go through my weft when I initially start. Some people sew the entire wig through the weft. I don't. I initially go through the weft to get my needle through to attach it to the cap, and I go under the weft as I sew. Reason I do that is because it helps minimize shedding. I don't want my hair to shed, and I just find that it's better to go underhanded. So basically, you'll see me, I'm going under the weft through that cap, and that's how I secure my wigs down. Well, that's how I secure the bundles down. So initially I go through the weft. Once I get it attached to the cap, I'll start going under the weft. And I'm knotting that off, and I just keep sewing. All right, so this is a better clip. You can see me go under the weft. I'm tying that off just for security. So you can see that I'm getting to the end of my thread, it looks like. Oh no, I'm not. I'm getting ready to do the flip over method. So yes, that is something I do. Some people cut their wefts as they go. I do not. I do the flip over method. So I'm going to show you how that works once I get that sewn down. Repeating the process, tying down that knot. Alright, so now I am flipping the track over. I'm going to take a T-pin to hold it in place. And I'm starting on this side, and I'm continuing the process. I'm going under the weft. I am not going through the weft anymore. I'm going under the weft, and this is how I created, this is how I get my wefts to be so flat. I go in under the weft, and then I make a knot right there, and that helps make when you flip it over, it's not so bulky. And I'm going to do it again. And it's a repeated process. Continue to sew. for that weft to make sure it's nice and taut. And I'm starting with the new needle, and I'm continuing to go under the weft. And I think my needle was kind of dull. This needle, like I have like 10 needles, but I think this particular needle was kind of dull, so it was hard to get through that cap with that needle, but I made it work. Alright, so we have came to the end of that first bundle. This is the next time that I will go through the weft, and this is just to end it so we can start on our next bundle. So I will go through the weft here, which is at the end, and also that cap if I can get that needle through there. And I'm just going to continue to sew down that bundle, the end of that bundle, so that it's nice and secure. So other than that, I do not sew through my wefts, y'all. I prefer not to. I just noticed when I first started making my own wigs, I just noticed sewing through the wefts, it just made my hair shed, and I just started sewing under the wefts. And I used to seal my wefts. I don't even do that anymore. And basically what you mean when somebody say seal their wefts, they put like a glue on the weft to kind of minimize shedding. But like I said, I've been doing it for so long, I kind of know what's going to cause it to shed and what's not. So this is what that first bundle looks like. It is all installed, and look how pretty that hair is, y'all. It is so pretty. I love the wave of it, and I wish y'all could feel this, but it is so thick and full. So we are now on the second bundle, and I believe I've already flipped on, yeah, I've already flipped on this track. So basically we are repeating the process. And my thread was getting knotted up. I believe it got caught in a T-pin, but I'll get it out. And you guys, I like to thread multiple needles so I don't have to continue to thread as I go. So I have like 10 needles and I will thread all of those before I get started. And that just helps the process to go a little bit faster. So I did an up close view, but my hand is in the way, but I'm showing you how I end off a weft when I'm getting ready to flip. So I tie it around that needle, I secure a knot. I'm going to take the track and flip it over. And I basically do this until I get to the top. So basically it's sew, flip, sew, flip, sew, flip, and you're making it into the shape of a U. So we're going to continue that process all the way to the top of that closure. And I'm making sure I have enough space since we are getting to the top of that wig. I don't like my wigs to be bulky. I don't think anybody would want their wigs to be bulky. So once I start getting closer to the top, I start spreading my tracks out a little bit further. And the more you practice, the better you'll become. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while. So it's all about trial and error. You have to find what cap works for you. You have to find out the method that you prefer. So don't go into it thinking, oh, this is the way she did it, this is the way I have to do it. No, I'm pretty sure the way I do my wigs is not the same way everybody else does them. And I am not a professional, so you know, I basically learned. I watched YouTube and I learned. So just practice. Practice makes perfect. It never hurts to practice. So we have gotten to the top of this wig, and now it's time to sew down those last few pieces. So as you can see, I'm sewing closer to the lace, not directly on the lace. I have seen some people sew like directly on the lace, like where they stitch the initial lace down. I don't do that because I've ripped a closure doing that before. So I get as close that I possibly can without touching the lace, like touching that perimeter right there. I'll get as close as I can without touching that, because I just don't want to rip my closures, y'all. Closures cost money, hair costs money. Don't nobody got time to be ripping them. So yeah, I just get it as close as possible and just sew around it. And I don't know if y'all could tell, but I was tired at this point. I started making this wig around 11 o'clock, I believe, and I didn't get done till like almost 2 a.m. So at this point I was over it. And I was like, girl, as soon as we get this done, we are going to bed. And that's exactly what I did. I went to bed after this. So I'm continuing to stitch around that closure. making sure that I get as close as possible, still doing the underhand method. And like I said, it's a repeated process. You keep repeating the same steps until you get to the end. And I think I'm at the end because I did have a little piece of hair left. I don't know if I showed it in the video that I clipped that last little piece off, but it's not even 3 inches of hair that I had left. I used majority of both bundles. So like my 14-inch, it might be 3 inches of left on that. So I'm going to clip that thread, and that's where I was saying it might be like 3 inches of hair left off of that bundle, but that is it. I'm just putting the hair, just flipping it back. I am done sewing my unit, and I'm basically taking all the T-pins out so that I can take it off the dome cap. And there she goes. I am going to cut that black fabric out. Be careful doing this because I have accidentally cut my closures before doing this. So you cut that piece of fabric from the dome cap out. And you repeat the other side. Clip that side as well. And I went back in and clipped a little bit more, but this is the finished look, you guys. I've cut this. I basically cut it up into a bob. I threw in some wand curls, and this is it. And she is absolutely beautiful. I plucked my closure from my parting, and I just added some bobby pins to style it, and I am absolutely in love with this hair. Y'all, this is so pretty. So if you are looking for some good quality bundles, check out Golden Crown Collection. Y'all, can we get into these curls? I'm sorry, but can we get into these curls? Look at these curls, y'all. Look at them curls. But yes, all of the information about this hair company will be in the description box. Please check them out. It's good quality hair. It's affordable hair. And I don't think you will be disappointed. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and drop me some, suggestions for the next video. I hope you all are being good, being safe, and I will see y'all next time.